I wanted to be at FE, but I also wanted to be at TFF, but I'm here at neither. Can we talk about how FOMO is so incredibly strong this weekend, especially in the furry fandom for furry conventions? Because fun fact, for those that don't pay attention to what's on Twitter or don't really know when furry conventions are happening, both Texas Furry Fiesta and Fernal Equinox are happening right now on the same weekend. So two conventions that I both very much love, and I wish I could have attended even just one. I'm at neither of them. The FOMO, the fear of missing out, if you don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out is a very, very strong incentive. It's a very strong motivation to do things, whether financially good or not. But the FOMO for me is strong. And the reason why I'm not at TFF or FE right now is simply just because I can't afford it and I'm just trying to save money, because I'm going to FWA for a week in Atlanta in like a few months. I think like 2 or so, less than that at this point. But FOMO is super, super strong. I can only imagine what it's like for people at these conventions. So like, for example, if you were split between going to TFF and Fernal Equinox, if you went to TFF, oh, you see all your friends who didn't go to TFF at FE. Oh man, I'm missing out with my other friends, and you're feeling a bit sad about that. Same thing vice versa. But what about me at home, where a lot of my friends are split at both of these cons? How am I supposed to feel? So in reality, Twitter for me has been a nightmare. I love seeing my friends having good times at cons, and don't get me wrong, it is wonderful seeing people post photos, especially Fursuit Friday photos with their like furry convention photos, or like going around the con and taking photos, or whatever food they're getting, or showing off the convention space or the dealer's den. Like, I love seeing that, but at the same time, a little bit of it hurts, because I'm like, I could have been there. I could have been there. Would it have been the financially wise decision to do so? No, not at all. But it sucks to not be there, because TFF for me was a wonderful con last time I went, and before that it was also wonderful. I loved it. But it's just this year with not going, I'm like, oof, kind of sucks. But still, point being, fear of missing out is a very, very big incentivizer. And I didn't even think about it as well. I'm going to do a separate video talking about this, by the way, because I also have some leftover furry convention footage that I just haven't used for a video. The fear of missing out isn't just applicable in this situation with people at different conventions who want to be with other friends at the same convention, or might want to go to the other one, but it's happening at the same time, so you physically can't, or you just can't go to a convention in general. It's also applicable, fear of missing out, it's also applicable when you're at a convention and when events are going on, or when friends are doing separate things in separate groups. You might feel like you're missing out, or you might not want to like go to bed early or sleep, or you might be exhausted, so you might overwork yourself or overexhaust yourself going around the con. Fursuiting, taking that extra time. Example, say for example, you're going fursuiting at like 12 or something, and your friends are just kind of doing their own thing for the time being. You want to fursuit around, you fursuit for like 3 hours, you're like, okay, I am done, I am tired, I want to desuit. And then as soon as you're getting out of suit, you see your friends be like, oh yeah, we're going to get into suit right now, no more than 10 minutes. You want to join them while they're fursuiting, right? You want to join them while you're fursuiting. You want to fursuit with your friends. So to that extent, fear of missing out could apply where you take more time or you overexhaust yourself to get to fursuit around with them. So in reality, fear of missing out is a very strong motivator, even at furry conventions, because you have a certain limited amount of time at this event that you are enjoying for a weekend. And you don't want to miss out on simple things like sleep, as much as you need sleep and showers and food and whatnot. It's still a big motivator. That's what it was for me, especially at Midwest Fur Fest, with the amount of friends and separate friend groups at cons who I wanted to hang out with. I couldn't physically do that. It wasn't just that I felt bad that I couldn't join them. I really wanted to join them. And so sometimes I pushed myself past a certain point where I just was too exhausted to do anything. So that's more so what I'm talking about with FOMO being prevalent at furry conventions, but also just like understanding your limits. That's a good healthy point of it. And understanding like, okay, are there friends here that you can hang out with at a later point or a future point where they're like locals or friends that you know, or like you're going to see them in a month or so? Maybe prioritize that a bit. I don't know. But still, it's very much a real thing. Fear of missing out. Especially like with me, I'm going to be honest, I need my beauty sleep. I need a good amount of sleep. I can't just run off of like 5 hours and keep running. As much as I used to be able to do that before, it's so hard for me to do now. And hopefully with, you know, my workouts at the gym, it's going to help with my overall energy levels. But at the same time, like I am just constantly tired. Like sometimes at cons, I'm like, okay, I want to go to bed, and it's like midnight and people are like going out to party till like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or even farther. And then they want to get up at like 9 or 10 to go and get breakfast. And I'm like, I can't physically run off of like 5 hours of sleep. I can't do that. So a lot of times I'll just either go to bed early, I'll chill in my room, or I'll sleep in a bit. And it's really, really hard to like weigh, what I want versus like what my body is telling me. That's how fear of missing out can be a motivating factor in that case. FOMO is painful. That's what it was for me back when I was attending furry conventions constantly. Like back when I was at like a new furry convention or spending time with a new friend or something, I was constantly going all the time. And I got to a point where I burnt myself out, not just of going to furry conventions, but just physically in general. I was tired. Like I got really sick. I got really tired. That's how con crud can spread as well. When your body is like constantly going all the time, you exhaust it. So when like, say a cold or a mixture of colds attacks or something, it's gonna hit harder. That's how con crud ends up being like a stronger thing than normal. But yeah, it's just like FOMO, very much a real thing right now, especially with 2 conventions happening, and even at cons, not being at another con, or not having the energy to want to spend time with people. But the only thing to sort of keep in mind is just like, you have a limit, you should listen to your body. Another thing as well, that what I said in my other video, you only have one body, you don't have a second one that you can jump into, take care of the one you have. So when your body's telling you you need to sleep or you're tired, listen to it. And that's okay. Just remember the 6-2-1 rule. 6 hours of sleep at least, 2 meals a day, I think, and then 1 shower. Sometimes you need more than 1 shower. You see, this is how hygiene can play into a healthy convention experience and avoiding FOMO. Or maybe not avoiding FOMO. I don't know. But still, that's what I want to share with you. And that's what I'll also do a separate video on, because I think it's very important to have conversations like this. So yeah, I wanted to be at FE, but I also wanted to be at TFF, but I'm here at neither. Also, I don't even know what to call that. You know how the furry gauntlet is like one furry convention after another? What do you call 2 furry conventions happening at once? And is it possible to attend both conventions? Is that even worth it to try? Concurrent. But now I want to find a new catchphrase for it, the furry gauntlet. The furry gauntlet is just like 2 furry conventions back to back, 2 weekends, 1 weekend apart. The furry concurrent, I guess. Maybe that might work. Gauntlet pro mode. Gauntlet. Iron Skull on. Gauntlet Lasso. Gauntlet Lasso. Let's call it that. Legendary all skulls on. We're set. We're good. But yeah, FOMO, a very big motivating factor at furry conventions. Both not at furry conventions and at furry conventions. Because low-key, I was sitting here yesterday and I saw everyone on Twitter having a wonderful time at TFF or FE. They were getting like Pecan Lodge barbecue, Texas barbecue. I loved it last year. I had so much of it. I want more. I want it again. But like, I'm not there. So that's sort of a big motivating factor, at least for me, to like keep working or to work harder or to save more money or to do what I can so that I can have these experiences and these enjoyable memories again, So that's what I'm looking to do. But yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Hope that answers, I don't know. No one asked it. I just started talking about it. So there's that.